channel. In this video I'm going to be looking at a question on infinite limit, right? So we're going to look at the steps to take to solve this. So simply what we do is to multiply this by the conjugate up and down, and then we simplify. So what I mean by that is limit of x to infinity of the square root of x plus 1 into x plus 3 negative x multiplied by square root of x plus 1 into x plus 3 plus x, because we're multiplying by the conjugate, right, over the square root of x plus 1 into x plus 3 plus x, right? So we then simplify, because this is still equal to this, because if this and this cancel, we have the same input, but we're trying to clear the surd, right? We're trying to clear, because we know that if you multiply a negative b by a plus b, it's going to give us a squared minus b squared. So doing that's going to eliminate the roots that we have there. So going in, using the difference of two squares, since we are having square root of x plus 1 into x plus 3 minus x, right, into square root of x plus 1 into x plus 3 plus x, what we're going to have is square root of x plus 1 into x plus 3 all squared negative x all squared. It's the same thing, right? That's what the difference of two squares implies, right? In this case, we have a minus b to a plus b, and then we're squaring a, and then we're squaring b. In this case, root x plus 1 into x plus 3, and then we have x. So if we square this, the root cancels the square, and then we're left with x plus 1 into x plus 3, and then we have negative x squared, right? And then if you expand this, we'll have x into x plus 1 plus 3 into x plus 1 negative x squared, right? And then continuing, we'll have x times x, that's x squared, plus x times 1x plus 3 times x, 3x plus 3 times 1, 3 minus x squared. So this x squared then cancels this, and then we have x plus 3x, that's 4x plus 3, right? So we could then rewrite the limit as x tends to infinity of 4x plus 3 all over the root of x plus 1 into x plus 3 plus x, right? And then that makes it a lot easier now. And then if we should expand this, if we should simplify, we then have 4x plus 3 all over, on expansion of x plus 1 to x plus 3, we have x squared plus 4x plus 3, and then we have negative x plus x, sorry. So for limits as x tends to infinity for functions, we note that we simply divide the function by the highest power, right? Highest powers of x. So in this case, the highest power of x is 1, because you wouldn't say it's x squared, because the x squared is a root function, and you know that the square root of x squared is x. So the highest power here is x. So all we then simply do is to divide each term by x. That's 4x over x plus 3 over x over the square root of x squared plus 4x plus 3 by x plus x over x, right? You grab. So that's it. So with that, the x could go, and then we have 4 plus 3 over x all over the square root of x squared plus 4x plus 3 all over x plus x divided x gives us 1. So let me bring that down. Remember, we had the limit as x tends to infinity, and then on simplifying we had this over 3 plus x all over the root of x plus 1 into x plus 3 by x plus 1, right? And then an important thing to know about limits as x tends to infinity for function is that the limit as x tends to infinity for 1 over x is 0. So this automatically becomes 0. And then since we have a root function on top and then we have just x down, to synchronize everything together, what we do is to make x a root, right? To make x a root. So with that, we then have the limit as x tends to infinity for 4 plus 3 over x all over the square root of, if you expand x plus 1 into x plus 3, that's going to give us x squared plus 4x plus 3, right? So divided by, instead of having x, we could write it as square root of x squared, right? Then plus 1. Then going on, we then simplify as square root of x squared plus 4x plus 3 all over x squared. And then if we should find the limit of this, we divide each term by x squared, right? Because that's the highest power. That's x squared over x squared plus 4x over x squared plus 3 over x squared all over x squared over x squared. So that's leaving us with 1 plus, since we are dividing an x into itself 1 and then we have x, 4 over x, the limit as 4 over x tends to infinity will actually be 0, because 4 over x could be splitted as 4 times 1 over x, and this gives us an output of 0, right? So plus 0 every other that has x beneath, and then x over x squared is 1. So we are now left with square root of 1 over 1, which is 1, right? So we can then have limit as x tends to infinity of f of x, which was given as 4 plus, remember we have 3 over x, and 3 over x will give us 0 as the output, and then we solve this and we got 1, and then that's a plus 1. So 4 plus 0 is 0, is 4, and then 1 plus 1 is 2, and then 4 divided 2 is 2. So that's the limit of x plus 1 into x plus 3 negative x as x tends to infinity 2. So that's it. Thank you so much for watching this video. Please do well to like, share, and subscribe to this channel. I hope you enjoyed the video. Also do well to drop your questions and your reviews in the comment section. Thank you so much for watching, and have a nice day.